Welcome back to another episode of Psychonaut Sessions, ladies and gentlemen. Your home for all things psycho. This is your host, Daniel Moeller. The first video I ever recorded was the seminal work from the mid-1980s boom anthology by Renegade Press, Gene Day's Black Zeppelin. It was basically an effort between publisher Denis Lambert, whatever, between the publisher and Gene Day's wife, Gail Day, to honor his work. Gene Day had passed from this world already. Gene Day is a legendary artist of Master of Kung Fu, amongst other incredible works. And this was an effort by the publisher, his widow, and really his family. All of the Day brothers, Dan Day, David Day, to reprint all of the works that we never got to see of Gene Day. It's got war, dark fantasy, as well as some contributions from some other artists and creators at the time. So we've got some cartoony stuff. We even have just a contribution by Charles Hess, and this one, Dave Sim. So the big leagues of the independents contributed to this book. Great anthology. And I want to get my hands on the entire series, and of course, I did. So today we're going to take a look at Black Zeppelin number 2. I just got this in the mail recently. I know it's Halloween month, and I was trying to keep this at a Halloween theme, but I couldn't help myself. There's some Halloween-ish things in this, most definitely. So I, would say that we're still kind of falling into that lane, but I couldn't help myself. It's Black Zeppelin number 2. Look at this cover. Absolutely amazing. Actually painted by David Day, who I actually just sent a request out for contact. Maybe I can get him on the line and maybe get him in a fun Psychonaut session discussion. That's something that I would love. David Day is, I think, the youngest of the Day brothers. There's 3 of them, Gene, Dan, and David. I've seen a lot of stuff by Gene and Dan before, and I've seen some stuff from Dan Day and other black and white anthologies and independent works as well during the 80s. This is the first time that I'm really seeing David Day just all explode. He's got some pieces that he inked in here and illustrated, as well as this cover painting. So we had Gene Day for the cover painting of number 1. We've got David Day for the cover painting of number 2. Excellent sci-fi explosion. Just incredible. Everything I want. So, kind of diving in here, let's take a look. There's a note from the publisher, Denny Lubert. She talks about how well Black Zeppelin has been received so far, and felt like there was kind of a tone in here, like maybe there was a risk they were taking, but they really got a lot of positive reviews and comments coming in, and talk about some of the other items that are coming out from Renegade Press, like Valentino, which I think was a 3-issue miniseries by Jim Valentino, that I would like to take a look at. So, and I mean, that's about it. Just nothing major. But just kind of talking about what's going to be coming up in this particular issue. And the first thing we have is a Gene Day illustration and poem called The Bizarre and the Fantastic. And so this has totally got our Halloween vibe, of course. And the poem, I mean, I'm not going to read through the whole issue, but this is just, a few lines for this particular item. Out of all the timeless minds, where clocks tick and colors ooze, there comes a shocking truth of things of black and demons old, and still you cannot realize that they exist in morbid darkness until a cold hand clutches you and then cries in glee. Yeah, Gene Day, ladies and gentlemen. Beautiful ink work. I've actually tried to create montages of characters like this for my own comics, and I can't do it in a way that looks good. But Gene Day makes it look good. First full story we have in here is a Day Brothers effort, most certainly. So called E Pluribus Unum. So we got Gene Day doing the story, pencils by Dan Day, inks by David Day. Letters by Joe Erzlavas, and some fun letters at that as well, especially the title letters. A lot of play on the title letters in this book, which I really appreciate. And so first we get this splash page montage, and of course in Black Zeppelin there's kind of an introductory note to each item, and kind of talking about how Dan and David Day, Dan Day is most specifically been working on Aztec Ace, as well as a new work with I think his brother David for Sherlock Holmes, which I'm going to try to get my hands on some of that stuff too. E Pluribus Unum, what we got here, I'm not going to read through the whole thing, but we've got an ape kind of in the foliage watching from the bushes. And we just get this kind of really well written monologue, just almost like Steve Bissett's Tyrant style of this ape in, I wouldn't say prehistoric time, but like early Paleolithic times, just in the wilderness, kind of stomping through, and it's just kind of all talking about his just like the primal nature, really. But just some wonderful work here. I love these black and white ink. I feel like Gene, Dan, and David Day are like the perfect mixture of having a black and white palette for that early black and white newsprint. Love the way that they were trying to kind of play with the panels here and have the vines moving through to make you feel like you're really a part of that foliage as well. And eventually this ape stumbles across a couple of, it just says regular monkeys, but it looks like probably chimpanzees, and is about ready to attack them in his just his like guttural rage. But then he stops as he looks at them, and it's a male and female, and it basically just says that there's no language that this creature has for it, but what we would call compassion stays his hand. He doesn't end up killing them, and takes off. And the male and female watch it takes off, and the male monkey has this yearning towards the ape, and calls it God. And as he does so, the female looks over, and there's a serpent in a tree full of fruit that she's about ready to pick from. So it's like this is like an explanation of the Adam and Eve story, but in just real world, like a real world scenario of the Adam and Eve story. It's pretty cool, fun little story, and really you get to see the Day brothers just expressing their full chops here. Love it. Next, Slaughterhouse Passing, story by Gene Day, art by Larry Dickinson. Have not found a ton on Larry Dickinson, so he's done a few things here and there, but nothing that was really of note, and nothing that I recognized, just like a few independent pieces here and there. But my lord, look at this work. I mean, this cross-hatching is just the amount of detail that is in this book is insane. It's kind of hard to tell with not having a uber professional camera, but my god. It's called Slaughterhouse Passing. It's a fellow here wandering in this empty cathedral, and kind of talks about how really since the aliens came, It's a scenario where aliens have come and invaded, and I think it's probably the medieval times, so it's kind of a alternate history that the churches have been abandoned, all faith has been lost in God. So he's wandering in this church, hungry, starving, hears a noise, finds a rat, and goes to try to kill the rat and starts eating it. And then another figure starts looming behind, and we assume that this is the aliens that have come and invaded and taken over. Really interesting because it's this like ornate alien-like armor, but with a medieval spin to it. We've got that Romanesque sort of fin on top. And basically the whole horde of them come and shoot the guy and take him out, and then one of the aliens takes off their helmet, and inside we get the head of a lamb. So like a lamb to the slaughterhouse, and the whole concept here is, and the final line is, what it boiled down to in the end was a goddamn case of mistaken identity. So it's just kind of like turning the tables on human and animal and human. Fun story, but the inks on this, the etching, I would very much like to see some more of Larry Dickinson's work. I mean, especially this opening page. This is glorious. Absolutely glorious. There is no zipatone or duotone that I can tell in this. I can pretty much guarantee even just the shading here. Those are dots. This is him actually dotting the shading on his shirt and on his face. Just wow. Well done, Larry Dickinson. And then finally, the final story, Quiet in the Green. So it's another Day Brothers effort, except we don't have Dan on here. So what this is a short story that Gene Day actually sent in to a publisher, and it's an unnamed publisher, many years before that. Many years before this, because Gene Day has passed at this point in time. This is 1985. But the publisher never paid him for it, nor did it ever see print. But they had the publisher had the original, so they lost them forever. Fortunately, Gail had photocopies, but bad photocopies. They weren't great, that she gave to David, and David redrew the whole thing. Brother David. So. And again, David's the one that I reached out to, so hopefully I hear back from him. But we get this incredible space battle going on between humans and Zions. And so there's a collision between these two starships, and they both hurtle down to a planet below, or a moon or something, on fire, and they both crash land. So the humans immediately set out. They're being sent out to go find the Zions, make sure that the Zion ship is either destroyed, but if there's any survivors, take them out. And so we get our title page here, which is a Will Eisner-esque, just a beautiful, beautiful rendition of sequential storytelling within the letters. Quiet in the Green. We get the fellows going out there and examining the wilderness. Same with some of the creatures. Thinks that they see the Zions, but what happens is these plants immediately begin to attack them and take them out. The plants on this alien planet. We go back into the human ship, and the captain, who is this female, and two of the guys that are left are all arguing, why aren't these people back yet? And for the rest of the book, what we get is this interesting panel scenario where there's one side of the storytelling from either the human or the Zion, and these main panels, these main horizontal panels, and then this vertical strip is the other side of of the story. So we get human here, and then we get Zion here in this particular item. Zion's doing the same thing. They're trying to actually go out and search for the humans as well. So the Zions are here, and they're getting attacked by the plants as well. So we don't really know what's happening. The humans decide to go out and try to take care of the scenario, the last surviving humans, and they see a group of the plants start attacking. So this particular scenario, they start sprouting these darts. It's awesome. And shoot and take these guys out. Love the momentum. I love these types of sequential experiences where you're just getting a full scene from panel to panel, rather than jumping from scene to scene. The only issue with the printing here is that there's some zipatone that's being used for especially the Zion, like what the Zions are thinking a lot of the time, and it's really hard to see. So the zipatone was just a little too dark for some of these text boxes. But other than that, great. Some great lettering done by Susan Thomas. Absolutely love it. So gunfight ensues. The plants are attacking. The humans are trying to take them out. They try to run back into the ship, but then what they see is that there is a Zion in the ship. A Zion attacks the female captain and ends up, trigger warning, taking advantage of her sexually to humiliate her in order to, before he kills her. But then we get this scenario of these particular like cells, mitochondria, I don't know, start mutating and growing, and the doctor of the human crew is discovering how these plants do that. They take over the Zion and devour them completely, but then replicate. And so what he's trying to explain to her is that these are corpuscles. So these are mutated white corpuscles that attack the largest germ life around, and they, basically what they do, it's the bubonic plague. They can replicate as well, so they'll replicate and imitate the figures, but that's what they are. It's like an alien version of the black plague. And what's interesting about this, and so they've taken over, the plants have taken over completely. They call this the green. They call all the plant life and everything the green, and that's the way it's referred to. And I'm wondering, I can't remember exactly when Alan Moore took over for Swamp Thing, but the way they refer to the green is very much the way the green is referred to in the Swamp Thing comic. And so, yes, this comic came out in 1985, but this original story was written and drawn by Gene Day years and years before this. So, did Alan Moore get the concept and idea of the green from Gene Day? We'll never know. And here we go. Just an ad. That was the story. Here's an ad for Normal Man from Renegade Press, which will have an appearance by Cerebus, apparently. Need to get my hands on that. And then we get here an ad for the cover of Black Zeppelin 3, which, ladies and gentlemen, I certainly am going to get. We get another Gene Day painting here. This is certainly on my to-do list, or my to-buy list, because my God, look at that. Just amazing. I love the Day brothers' imagination. Pretty cool here. We get, I guess this is, this is Love and Rockets, obviously, but Mechanics, I think that this is like the first, main book of Maggie and the Mechanic that came out in a collected edition from Fantagraphics, I'm assuming. I can't remember how the Love and Rockets, I think it came out in Maggie the Mechanic came out in snippets in the regular Love and Rockets book, right? Or am I wrong? Somebody correct me. Anyway, cool to see this ad here, though. I don't think I ever remember seeing any kind of Love and Rockets ad when I was younger. So, because mostly I only had mainstream books coming to my little grocery store in my small town. So, excellent book. I love it. Gene Day's Black Zeppelin. Can't wait for more. I'm going to cover this whole thing and some more Renegade Press stuff. This is starting to become one of my favorite overall black and white anthologies of the 80s, which is definitely my favorite genre of comic. Thank you very much for joining us today, and hey, keep it psycho out there, folks.